the Big 12 on a Thursday night. Texas coming in to take on Iowa State. The Cyclones making their way into Jack Trice Stadium. They walk through the all-in tunnel. It's the way the Cyclones have to play. Discipline, do their assignment, do their job, be all in. But as for Texas, many are getting out on Mack Brown. After a tough start for the Horns, University President Bill Powers said, "Mack's our coach. He's had a bad week. He's trying to fix it. Mack has my support." That's after the BYU game. But a couple of weeks later, and a loss to Ole Miss included in there, Chris Sims said, "I don't think the talent is there. They have a tough schedule with a lot of tough games. I don't think he'll be back." And perhaps the most damaging comment coming just a few days ago from Longhorn legend Earl Campbell, who said, "Nobody likes to get fired or leave a job, but things happen." I'd go on record and say, yes, I think it's time. Glad to have you with us on Thursday night. Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and David Pollack. And certainly those comments, as Mack Brown himself said, have been disappointing to him. But Brown continued to be optimistic, saying the same people criticizing him will be hugging him if they can just win some games. By any measures, Jesse, it's been a very difficult September, very poor defense. But at least new defensive coordinator Greg Robinson's had some time now.
They've definitely improved on defense under Greg Robinson, but you rewind back to those two games against BYU and Ole Miss. That's some of the worst defensive football we've seen in Texas history. They couldn't play assignment football. They couldn't even stop the simple zone read play. Here's Adrian Phillips at safety, very slow on the switch to take the quarterback, takes a bad angle. They've missed 53 tackles so far this year on D. But Greg Robinson got that fixed against Kansas State. There's a guy taking the dive, a guy taking the quarterback. Carrington Bynum getting off a block, being physical, making a play in the backfield. You were very encouraged watching them stop Kansas State running the football. They've had a bye week now to get familiar with Greg Robinson. They have to keep improving tonight against an Iowa State offense that wants to run the football with a good running back in Aaron Wimberly and a quarterback that can run it in Sam Richardson.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And the defense couldn't get much worse. And we still need to see more. But tonight in this matchup with Texas's offense, Case McCoy, how is he going to play in this moment? I don't think you want to trust him throwing the ball 30 times a game. We've seen Texas and Mack Brown flip offensive coordinators and go from, they want to be a downhill running team to a spread team. Tonight, you want to see Jonathan Gray get the football, Case McCoy manage the game, and Texas get back to some old school running.
Just moments away from kickoff here at Jack Trice Stadium. Before we get things started, let's say good evening to our buddy Samantha Ponder.
Good evening, Reese. Mack Brown told me earlier tonight that his defense is going to blitz more tonight than they did against Kansas State. Now, fortunately for Iowa State, their dual-threat quarterback, Sam Richardson, is healthy again. He had a hard time playing on a sprained right ankle, and Paul Rhodes told me this is the first night since opening week that he's fully able to plant off of that back foot. Now, they do want to run him more tonight, so pay attention to that. But here's the difficulty. His center is a third-string center. They're happy with what he's done in practice over the last week. That's Ben Loth. But obviously, Reese, never good when you're starting your third-string center.
No, Sam, it'll be a challenge against the interior defenders of Texas, but of course, running the quarterback is what has vexed the Longhorns for much of this season, giving up more yardage to running quarterbacks than any other team in the country. Texas won the toss, they deferred, so the Cyclones will get the football to start off. Jarvis West is deep to return it for Iowa State. Getting set to put a boot to it for Texas. As you see, Nick Rose will be the kickoff specialist. Anthony Farah will handle most of the place-kicking duties, but Rose is your kickoff man, and we are underway from Jack Trice Stadium, and the Cyclones are going to watch that thing sail out of the back of the end zone, and they'll put it in play on their 25-yard line. The impact players when Iowa State has the ball. Aaron Wimberly coming off a 137-yard performance against Tulsa, and Quentin Bundridge had a big game against Iowa, 3-touchdown, 100-yard receiving day. We mentioned the defensive line for Texas against this Iowa State offensive line. Malcolm Brown inside against Ben Loth when he's in at center, and Jackson Jeffcoat, the spectacular defensive end who's had his season cut short the last couple of years with torn pectoral muscles. There is Wimberly, there is Bundridge. See how quickly the Cyclones can get the ball in their hands, very quickly. Wimberly looking for the edge, picks up one. The tackle made by Dalton Santos. Santos in there because Steve Edmond, the normal starter at middle linebacker, sits out the first half of this game after getting kicked out on a targeting call. You heard Samantha talk about Sam Richardson, and we call him Sam B. Richardson because there's a cornerback for the Cyclones that also starts, also named Sam Richardson, no relation. He's Sam E. The sophomore from Winter Park has been slowed by the injury, but they think he's a promising guy, dual threat guy, good on the move and can throw on the move, and does, and completes his first pass of the night to Bundridge. And Bundridge is a guy who's going to have to win some one-on-one matchups and make some plays tonight for Iowa State.
Especially out there in the boundary. Duke Thomas, a cornerback for Texas, has been the guy opposing offenses have tried to pick on this year. Tyler Lockett had a 237-yard receiving day 2 weeks ago for Kansas State. A lot of those catches on Duke Thomas.
First third down of the night. Iowa State trying to avoid a 3-and-out to start. Crowd continuing to fill in. Longhorns in the backfield, and they've been vexed by missed tackles, but Malcolm Brown didn't miss that one. It'll be 3-and-out for the Cyclones.
You heard Sam talking about the injuries they've had at center, and Ben Loth, the third-team center, lining up against Malcolm Brown, who's the most explosive D tackle they have. No one even barely gets a hand on him. You see the quickness off the line of scrimmage. There's no denying the talent Texas has up front. They have some guys that can get into the backfield. Iowa State's going to do a much better job at the point of attack.
He's one of the best punters in the country, Kirby Vanderkamp. Just as I say that, that's not his best effort. Jackson Shipley has to come in and grab it before it bounces and lets Iowa State pick up some more yardage on the punt. And Texas will have it for the first time tonight at its own 36-yard line. Impact players when the Longhorns are on offense. Dejae Johnson is back. Johnson playing wide receiver. You might see him at running back as well. Jonathan Gray is going to carry the load in the backfield. Both of those guys are explosive. You can't miss David Irving on the defensive front. He's about 7'12". He's actually 6'7", big fella. And Jeremiah George holding this linebacking core together after the departures of Jake Knott and A.J. Klein, both of whom are in the NFL now. First run of the night goes to Jonathan Gray, and the Cyclone defense there to stop him. It'll be second and long as we check in with Sam.
Reese, obviously Texas looking for as many weapons as they can on offense. Mike Davis obviously dealing with an ankle injury. You saw out there wouldn't start, but he is available. They're going to be cautious with him.
Gray gets it for the second time, gets across the 40. He's going to be about 5.5 yards short of the first down. Mike Davis is their big play receiver, David. They're only going to use him as needed. It appears he's dealing with an ankle problem.
And he's an elite receiver in college football, a guy that goes deep and gets it. And then you look at Ash at the quarterback spot, who's out. I mean, they're missing some playmakers on this offense. Some of their better players that they've seen step up that they've needed, but it's got to be other guys that step up and make plays.
Third down's been a problem for the Iowa State defense. But not this time, and a flag is going to come in. McCoy was looking for Marcus Johnson, and he was all tangled up with Jansen Watson. And the flag came in, and it appeared to be rightfully so.
Pass interference, defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So no Mike Davis on the field right away, but his backup is Marcus Johnson, a guy that made some plays against Kansas State. 6'1", going up against a much smaller corner in Jansen Watson at only 5'9". That's going to be a physical matchup to watch on the perimeter of the field. Remember, that's the position Mike Davis normally plays.
Both of these Iowa State cornerbacks a little undersized, vertically challenged, some might say. McCoy shows some motion. Now Case is going to take the big shot. He hangs it up there. And very fortunate it wasn't intercepted. Watson was on the coverage. 2nd and 10 coming.
Dave, you said it early. Case McCoy has to manage this game and keep the offense on schedule. Here he just kind of floats this football way up in the air. Very lucky that wasn't intercepted.
You know what? He's mad because you just said he was short, but look at the hops.
38-inch vertical.
That's
on
right.
This guy. He's got the best vertical on the team.
So who needs to be tall if you got ups, dog?
Got to be physical.
If you time it properly, there's no problem. Iowa State crowd trying to make it tough. Back to the ground with Gray. A seam. Jonathan Gray into the secondary. Jonathan Gray is on his way. Touchdown, Texas. 45 yards, and the Horns strike first.
And I tell you what, we talked about Mr. Gray. I mean, he's definitely their best back, but look at the whole. Look at the offensive line. Everybody leading up, everybody getting a hat on a hat, a great cutback, get north-south.
How about the vision?
They look pretty easy.
How about the vision, seeing that cutback?
How about the blocking, too? That's pretty nice.
The thing I love about Gray, there's a no-nonsense one-cut runner when he sees it, foot in the ground, north-south.
Anthony Farah is true on the extra point, and Jonathan Gray who's moved into the feature back role. There's a stable of talented running backs at Texas, but Gray seems to be running away from the field, and the Horns are on top by 7. It's been a sad week for the Texas Longhorn family. Legendary quarterback James Street died Monday of a heart attack at the age of 65. He led the Longhorns to the 1969 National Championship. He, of course, guided that victory against Arkansas, and President Nixon declared the Longhorns national champions. Never lost a game at Texas, 20-0. The Horns remembering James Street with his initials on the back of their helmets tonight. He's also a pitcher on the baseball team, had a couple of no-hitters in his career. He's the father of San Diego Padres relief pitcher Houston Street. Our condolences and deepest sympathy to the entire Street family and everyone in Texas who had such high regard for James Street. Kickoff goes into the end zone. Sam Richardson pulls it down. He'll lose 1. It'll be 2nd and 11. You do not, Scott. You don't just roll your hat out there and stroll out with a victory. Same here at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames. Perhaps you've heard that on a video game or on Saturday highlights. Iowa State's been good on first down. Just enough from James White, but the ball's on the ground. It appeared he had the first down, and Texas believes it recovered the fumble.
He just dropped it. He was going, and he was heading.
And it is Texas football. That is the 10th turnover gained by the Longhorns this year, and the first fumble the Cyclones have lost all season.
One thing Texas has done a great job of in the last couple of games is creating those turnovers. You see here, the running back, he just drops the football and it goes between his legs. He wasn't even touched. And of course, that's James White. Never was able to secure the football after the handoff, and that's a gift.
It looked like he
Oh,
got
wow.
kicked.
Oh,
Yeah, how about that?
his own guy.
Oh,
So we have
wow.
a butt fumble. What do we call that? Butt kick?
Just lead back
Heel
Jeff
toe.
Woody. Yeah, kicking the ball.
It was a reverse bicycle kick.
But it was good penetration by Cedric Reed to get in the backfield to drive the offensive lineman back.
So the Longhorns start this possession in the red zone. Golden opportunity to go up by 2 touchdowns on the ground. Great. I thought for a second that he had a little loose handle on that one as he picks up a couple.
Iowa State's defense has been incredible in sudden change situations recently. Their last 14 turnovers they've committed, they've given up only 3 points.
That was a field goal against Iowa this season, and Gray finds the sledding tough on 2nd down. Jaquez Washington on the stop.
And this is what they do. Bend, don't break. They don't blitz a lot. David, you mentioned that earlier. You don't see a lot of exotic coverages. They rely on keeping the football in front of them, creating turnovers, and playing great in the red zone.
And we talked about Texas being out of place on defense. Very rarely do you see Iowa State being out of place and beating themselves.
3rd and 6.
There's Jackson Shipley. Top of the
Cyclones.
screen in the slot.
The Cyclones thought Kennedy Estelle moved. McCoy had a receiver out in the flat. He also had one in the end zone, but overshot him. And Mike Davis couldn't pull that one down. And the Longhorns are going to try a field goal, further underscoring that stat. And what a remarkable job by Iowa State once again to rise up in a sudden change situation, but he did have Shipley open.
Guys, look, they had the smash route concept. The guy underneath and Shipley up top. That's a wide open throw.
It's not like Davis wasn't open
He
either.
had everybody open.
You had your choice. So you got to hit one of them.
It's a 29-yard field goal attempt for Anthony Farah. Farah, who battled a significant groin injury last year, is healthy, and he is true. So the fumble certainly could have been worse for the Cyclones, but Texas capitalizes with the field goal. Just a little too tall for Davis, but a 10-point edge for the Horns. Case McCoy's hit 5 of his first 10, but probably thinks he should be 6 of 10. Has missed Mike Davis in the end zone. Horns had to settle for a field goal. So inside 2.5 to play in the first quarter. Texas up 10-0, taking advantage of the Iowa State fumble. Nick Rose knocks it out of the back of the end zone, and Jack Price wants it. Bald man on campus. Yeah, he can't. Scott can't grow hair. He'd do away with his entire game day franchise if he grows hair. Sam Richardson looking for the big tight end, and he's got him, E.J. Bibbs, and E.J. shedding tacklers, and yes, E.J. it's a first down.
Sam Richardson's missed some open receivers downfield. He's got to just play catch, and when he's in rhythm, he's a very accurate thrower. When guys come open, the windows aren't always big. You see the tight end working on Dalton Santos, who of course is starting in place of Edmond because of the targeting foul in the second half against Kansas State. Those are the throws he has to make. Play catch with your receivers.
Bibbs, who was a junior college All-American, coming in motion. Wimberly turning the corner. Wimberly into Texas territory, and another first down for the Cyclones.
I like how offensive coordinator Courtney Messingham has found success calling run plays to the outside. We talked about how the third string center is playing in the middle. A lot of the success running the football, whether it's been Aaron Wimberly or Sam Richardson on the zone read, outside the tackle box.
Now for this series, their starting center, Tom Farniak, has returned. He's got an MCL problem, can't go every series. They'll try to get as much out of Tom as they can tonight. He solidifies the middle of that offensive line a bit. Richardson down the middle, Bibbs with a big catch, still on his feet inside the Texas 30, and the Clones are on the move.
Bibbs is a big body at 6'3", 250 pounds, and there you see the physicality and the athleticism.
Well, and Texas wants to sell out. Watch these linebackers right here. Watch both the linebackers in the box. They want to sell out. They want to stop the run. They both come up, create a window right behind both the linebackers. That's what happens when you have so much quarterback run and running game success. Everybody gets over-aggressive.
Iowa State, his deepest penetration of the night. Back to Wimberly, looking for the edge. More success to the outside as he gets just inside the 20. Great pickup on first down. Wimberly averaging more than 4 yards per carry. While we were concerned about what Iowa State might be able to accomplish inside, found some room on the edge. Second down and 3. We're inside a minute to play here in the first quarter. The homestanding Cyclones trying to get on the board. Richardson leaves it with Wimberly. He's inside the 20 to the 19. Needs to get it close to the 17. Chris Whaley and Malcolm Brown on the stop.
So Iowa State has made it difficult for themselves so far in this game. Now they had a pass interference penalty, they had a fumble deep in their own end, a critical penalty on a long run by Wimberly. You're down 10-0, but doing a nice job responding on this drive, marching down, looking for points.
We're going to start the second quarter here in Ames with Iowa State looking at a big 3rd down and 2 opportunity. Texas has jumped on top. The Cyclones are all in and fighting back. Big 12 second quarter when you come back. ESPN College Football Prime Time, served by Applebee's as part of Tailgate Week. Fired up by Kingsford Charcoal. We start the second quarter in Ames. Texas on top of Iowa State 10-0, but the Cyclones in the red zone and looking at a 3rd and 2. We're going to call it 1 now. It's going to be a long one. Have to get it close to the 17-yard line. Jeff Woody, a short yardage specialist. Woody plowing his way in there, and I'm not even sure he got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down.
When you're running against Texas and you're running inside, you're running into the teeth of that defense. Their best players inside, Malcolm Brown, Chris Whaley, Hassan Ridgeway, they're deep at defensive tackle. It's a tough place to earn yards.
So Cole Netton, a talented redshirt freshman who took over the place-kicking duties in the opening game against Northern Iowa, a game the Cyclones lost. Starting kicker Evan Arceo had missed a couple of field goals. Little mishandle, and Netton bends it just inside the right upright. Netton, but the back of the net, and the Cyclones are on the board, and Paul Rhodes has a drive pay off with a 3, and a good job on the hold Watch Justin Coleman. It's a low snap.
It's a grab, a little one hop, laces out.
He's one of their starters in the slot, the wide receiver. You see the nice hands right there. Good job.
McCoy on first down, the easy completion out in the flat. Malcolm Brown picks up 4, maybe 5.
Guys, I think in general, to your point, David, for Iowa State to win games, it's a simple formula. You got to play smart football. No penalties. They're the least penalized team in the Big 12. The turnovers, they're 12th right now in the nation in turnover margin. Flip the field on special teams. That's what wins this team games because they're not as talented athletically as Texas tonight.
Iowa State bluffed a little blitz. Luke Knott still stepping in there. No extra pressure. McCoy was not on target, but Kendall Sanders made him right. Nice grab by the sophomore.
And so far in this game, Iowa State hasn't really followed that formula. They had a chance to make an interception, a couple interceptions, as you mentioned. They fumbled the football, had a critical penalty on a big gain by their running back. They got to get back to playing Cyclone football, and that's playing smart.
On 1st and 10, here goes Gray. Jonathan Gray picks up about 9 on 1st down.
And this is an interesting formation that Texas does. You put Malcolm Brown, so now you got 2 tailbacks right there with Jonathan Gray, number 32 in the backfield. Kind of cross action, but run the ball to the left. It gives you a little bit more options.
McCoy feeling heat, and down he goes. The pressure coming from the outside and making the stop with Jeremiah George. Nick Crone was also in there applying the heat.
Jeremiah George is a lot of fun to watch. He's only 5'11", but he is tough to block. And you see him in the middle of the screen. Tremendous speed getting in. Malcolm Brown cannot make the block. Nice job there, too, by Crone, getting in the backfield. They don't blitz a lot. We've mentioned that so far because they don't like the matchups outside. That was a calculated risk. Nice job getting home.
And Donald Hankins not at left tackle, too, who's Texas's best lineman, not in the ballgame.
See if Sam can find out what's going on with Hawkins. McCoy getting pressure, had to throw it away. Coming after him was Mitchell Myers, I should say. 4th down and 8 coming.
You're starting now to see a lot of movement up front from Iowa State's defensive line. They're a little bit undersized. They have to move or risk getting eclipsed against a much bigger Texas O-line, but a nice job now by defensive coordinator Wally Burnham, dialing up some pressure.
He likes to dial up pressure, doesn't he, Jesse?
No, he does not. And I think it drives Coach Paul Rhodes crazy.
He brought him here because he's aggressive.
Was a defensive coordinator at Pitt for 8 years. He was a blitzing maniac.
That was Burnham's reputation for a while, too, but Wally sometimes thinking that discretion's the better part of valor when it comes to sending the house. Jarvis West fields it inside his 10, and Iowa State gets a good stop on defense. Heat coming on Case McCoy. Now see if the Cyclones can answer with an offensive drive. Richardson gets away from Jeffcoat. A lot of room for Sam to run. He has the 1st down, and he gets down across the 25-yard line. He'll move the sticks.
Second time in this game on a critical 3rd down, we've seen Richardson get away from trouble. He's got hard focus downfield, soft focus around him, but when it breaks down, he's out. You see the deceptive running ability.
Well, and you see Jackson 99 and 44 Jeffcoat coming the same running lane. It's pretty simple. That makes it really easy. If you're going to rush the quarterback, keep him in the pocket and rush him. Don't both get in the same gap.
Instead, he goes the other way. And what a grab in traffic by Bundridge. There's a flag down. Not so sure Bundridge didn't make the catch despite interference by the Longhorns.
And this is the guy I would find in man-to-man coverage. I'd throw it to Bundridge on the outside more often. A great job walling the defender off. He had the flag regardless, but they got to have somebody on the outside, and Bundridge is their most talented guy.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. Penalties decline. Result of the play, 1st down.
And that's a matchup you like if you're Texas, because Carrington Bindum is your best cover corner on the perimeter. You see Bundridge here being physical. There's a lot of tugging and pulling, a lot of jersey grabbing. That's an easy call for the officials to make.
While he's getting hit, delivered that too on the back shoulder.
And Bundridge, the rivalry game against Iowa, had 7 catches for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. They appeared to be out of the game. Bundridge had a couple of touchdowns late to give the Cyclones a chance. Chantrell Johnson in the backfield. Richardson faked to him. Was looking for Tad Ekby. He threw it behind him.
So this is what Texas hasn't done yet. They got to start winning the early downs on first down to set up obvious passing situations, because I think that's what they're built to do. They're built to stop you early, rush the passer off the edge with Reed and Jeffcoat, play man-to-man coverage on the outside and smother you. But you can only do that when you win first down.
Wimberly stays on his feet momentarily, but Dalton Santos getting the start.
And what I
Place
love,
of Edmond makes a tackle.
and what I love, guys, about what Greg Robinson has done since he's taken over, he's simplified the defense. Gets them lined up so they can play fast, and he plays to their strengths. And this is only his 3rd game as a defensive coordinator, understanding the personnel, but I think that's what they're built to do.
He didn't even know the guys' names. I mean, he watched them on tape. He just knew their numbers. They didn't know who this guy was walking in the locker room, and now you got to get to know him and how to put him in the right situation to succeed. And it's a tough job. It's tough to come in and just start to do. You have to do that.
So now 3rd and long, maybe a situation here. You see the man-to-man coverage again. Where are those defensive ends?
Richardson escapes, a lot of running room. First down, Iowa State. Richardson still on his feet, and another big quarterback gain on the ground against Texas. This one not on the design run, but Richardson doing it on the scramble, picking up 21.
Richardson sprained his ankle in week 1 against Northern Iowa. It was bumming him out a little bit. Wasn't able to do this a lot here in recent weeks, but the bye week helped him get back healthy. And you've already seen that's the 3rd time now on 3rd down.
And that's a busted play for the defense. You get 4 guys coming in the A gaps right there. Nobody right there in the B gap at all. It's an easy play.
Already 56 yards on the ground. Wimberly at the edge, inside the 35, and slammed down at the 34.
And that little 3-yard play it doesn't look great. And you're not going to see Oregon out here getting 50, 70-yard plays all the time. But if they just keep getting 3, Wimberly keeps running hard, Richardson keeps scrambling, making plays. That's how they put drives together. They're not going to kill you with big plays down the field. They just got to sustain drives.
And they're staying committed right now to the running game as well, which I think is impressive. Already they've run it 23 times in 30 plays. They're going to be patient with it.
Zone read, a little bit of a crease. The ball gets close to the 30. 3rd down coming. Malcolm Brown with another stop.
Okay, so if you're Texas defensively, keep the quarterback in the pocket. If this is going to be a pass play. Now at 3rd and 4, obviously, everything's available. As you see the rush defense, their numbers this year and what they've given up on the ground, they've been gashed, and a lot of that's come from Sam Richardson.
Iowa State is just 10 yards short of what it's averaging per game on the ground for the season. Got 104 yards on the ground, average 113. Richardson firing, caught Bundridge inside the 15. First down, Cyclones. How about Quentin Bundridge going up the ladder?
He's the best receiver they have after the catch. He's their biggest threat downfield, making explosive plays, and he can climb the ladder too. 6'2". You see Richardson here, not as much pressure in front of him, but a great job stabbing the football in the air by Bundridge.
Iowa State driving in hopes of tying this thing up. Wimberly lined up in the pistol. Richardson to throw. Runs out of time, and he'll be sacked. Getting there first was Chris Whaley.
Chris Whaley, at 295 pounds, guys, used to be a running back 2 years ago here at Texas. How about that?
What you think about that?
Just the athleticism. I mean, these are the types of athletes Texas has, and that's a problem inside when you're playing a lot of this game with your 3rd-string center. That's going to be an issue. We keep talking about it. That's one to watch. Even though Farniak's in there right now, he's not 100%. They got to be careful inside on the O-line.
2nd and 14. Back to the ground. Wimberly had a crease. It's just inside the 12. Santos with a little help from Adrian Phillips stopping him. Another 3rd down coming.
think this is another situation if you're Iowa State. Your best wide receiver, Quentin Bundridge, lining up against Texas's best corner, Carrington Bynum. You've won that matchup a couple times. You feel you're going to face man-to-man coverage again, and it looks like that's what Texas is lining up in.
3rd and 9 for Iowa State as they move the ball from their own 8 to the Texas 12, but needing to pick up about 9 here to keep the drive alive. Wimberly has it in the flat. He's got a lot of room, and Wimberly's into the end zone for his first touchdown of the season. How about that nifty call coming out of the timeout by offensive coordinator Courtney Messingham? Cole Netton on for the tie. And with just over 4.5 to play in the first half, Iowa State, which started the season 0-2, has pulled even. The longest drive of the season for the Cyclones, 15 plays, 92 yards, took over 7.5 minutes, and we're locked up. They're grilling up some fresh meat, and Cyclone fans have a little appetite for an upset.
Taking a look at that last touchdown, Reese, they want to get Wimberly on the swing. That's incumbent on linebacker Peter Jenkins to make the play, but they get a block with tight end E.J. Bibbs, who just kind of gets a piece of him, and that allowed Wimberly to roll in untouched. Nice design.
Kendall Sanders going to bring it out of his end zone, and turns out not to be the right move as he is stopped short of the 20-yard line. And good coverage by the Cyclones pins Texas inside his 20 as Iowa State's just tied the game at 10. To the ground with Jonathan Gray, and Gray tripped up just short of the 20. 3rd down conversion for the touchdown when the Cyclones had it.
And we talked about it. It's man-to-man coverage, but I also think the safety needs to do a good job right there coming up. A cornerback needs to come up. But I like the way Wimberly finishes that run, too, by the way, in the end zone. He could have just scooted the end zone, not be touched, but that shows you he's got a little attitude to him. He came right at him and said, come get some.
He probably wanted that touchdown because he had a long run against Tulsa that he got knocked down on the 1-inch line, and they ended up having to have Jeff Woody run it in. McCoy complete to Kendall Sanders, but not quite enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd and short.
And guys, we're watching Iowa State fight. There's something about this Thursday, Friday night magic around the Cyclones team. 7-2 since 2008 on these types of games. They don't get the national stage often. They love the opportunity to make a statement. You can see Iowa State right now playing with their hair on fire a little bit.
And in the 7-2 on Thursday and Friday nights, they're just 20 and 36 on Saturdays.
Gotta play more weeknight games.
Trying to pick it up. Hit in the backfield is Gray, and he will not get it. Willie Scott, the 5th-year senior from Orlando, makes it a 3-and-out for the Horns.
The one biggest area of concern, I'd say, for Texas's offense this year has been short yardage situations, just not being physical enough at the point of attack. Willie Scott is only a 224-pound defensive end, and he's winning his battle up front and making a play in the backfield.
Farah standing inside his 10. Dual return men inside the 40 for Iowa State. Short punt. Jarvis West calling for the fair catch, and Iowa State will have its best starting field position of the game from its own 43-yard line. Jack Trice Stadium alive. Aaron Wembley went in for the touchdown. Cyclones have it tied. Now in the last 2:40, they can try to take the lead. You see the green field goal line is sitting at the 38. In pregame, as we watch Cole Netton with the wind, could knock it in from about 55 yards. That's what it would be if they get it to the 38. But Richardson has designs on a lot more than that, and it's Justin Coleman making the grab, and now they're at the 30 and within field goal range. But another first down will stop the clock, just over a minute to play.
Sam Richardson is throwing the football now with a lot of conviction. There was some mustard on that throw. That back ankle looking pretty good as he's planning off it and throwing.
Also very efficient with managing the time. Now this is not going to stop the clock, short of the first down, but another completion to Coleman as we're inside a minute to play in the first half.
So now he's made good decisions all night so far, running and throwing. This is an area you don't take sacks. You don't turn it over.
Richardson deflected. It falls incomplete. Malcolm Brown got a hand on it. 3rd down and 3 coming. 42 ticks left in the first half.
And we need more from Jeff Coat. I mean, he's a guy that he puts his hand on the ground and rushes the passer. He's slippery. He's got good instincts, but they've got to pressure Richardson too. But also, let's be honest, these throws are easy pitch and catch too. You said earlier, play catch. These are easy throws right over the middle. The linebacking core for Texas has to play better.
Expecting man-to-man coverage again if you're Sam Richardson. Inside, you got your tight end, E.J. Bibbs. Outside, you got Bundridge. Pick your best matchup.
Watch Bundridge. Got it. Oh, he had him, and Bundridge had it right in his hand, and I think he was going to try to run it to the house, and he dropped it.
He just got too excited. He knew he went on the route against Bindum, just took his eyes off the football. Looking to make a move, you've got to catch it first. That's a critical drop.
He was going to try to shake Santos and see if he could get it in the end zone, and he looked up too soon. Instead, they'll try the field goal. Cole Netton from 41 yards out. He's made a 37-yarder tonight. Is for the lead just before the half. It's on the way, and it is true. Well, Paul Rhodes, a demonstrative sort on the sidelines. He's the Cyclones with just over half a minute to play in the first half at home. Sam Richardson leads a nifty drive, and Iowa State has scored 13 straight points.
And it's been his legs and his arm. I mean, he's done a great job buying time, converting the sticks on 3rd and 10 with his feet, throwing to the open guy, and even on that last pass, Bundridge had a chance to catch it and possibly score. So you got to like the way the offense has responded from a slow start.
Okay, Case McCoy is a veteran guy, but he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. With 33 seconds left here, how do you play this when Texas gets the ball back?
3 timeouts. I'm a quarterback, so I'm saying you go for points.
Tell me where I get the ball first.
You're going to get it on the 25 because DeJay Johnson didn't want to take a knee, but he was convinced to do so by Joe Bergeron. Mike Davis isn't on the field at the moment. Bergeron out of the backfield. Joe Bergeron across the 35. Clock will stop to move the chains.
And a great play call by Major Applewhite. Every 2-minute situation, get the drive started. Give yourself a chance. Easy completion, move the chains, get into a rhythm.
And Bergeron, get out of bounds. An easy opportunity. You got the first down, run out of bounds.
Texas with 3 timeouts, but now with just over 20 seconds remaining. McCoy to the outside. It's incomplete. Good hit by Sam Richardson. Knocked it free. Kendall Sanders couldn't hold on.
You have to be impressed with how physical these very short corners from Iowa State have played tonight. Playing a lot bigger than their heights would indicate. And right now they're winning a lot of those one-on-one battles outside. They're not as talented or nearly as gifted as these athletes from Texas, but they're playing with a little bit more want to right now.
McCoy, right on the money. McCoy to Shipley into Iowa State territory with 11 seconds to go now. Texas, they've got 3 timeouts and 11 seconds to go. I bother grounding it here. Just use the timeout, and they do. Longhorns trying to at least get a tie before the half. McCoy having to buy some time in case Wisely throws it away. And now with only 5 seconds to go, David Irving was applying the pressure. You'd think probably what we have here is the home run ball. But we've seen a couple of those work. Last weekend, Florida State had one against Boston College. Ohio State had one against Wisconsin.
We've talked about
that wasn't a Hail Mary, though. That was a laser beam from like 55 out.
But Iowa State, guys, bend, don't break. So keep the football in front of you. Do not let anyone get behind you in the back end.
Possibly the last play of the half. Now it will be. McCoy firing down there. A lot of guys. Did we have it? Touchdown, Texas. Wow. John Harris. Right on cue, it happens again. John Harris with his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. The 44-yarder gives Texas the lead going to the half.
We talked about how small the secondary is from Iowa State. He's the biggest receiver they've got. 6'3", 225 pounds. And guys, that's a play on offense you practice every week. You try to layer into the end zone with 3 different receivers looking for a deflection and a rebound. That time, they didn't even need it. What not to do when they're outmatched.
And how about a terrific drive by Case McCoy?
Yeah.
5 plays, 75 yards, 33 seconds. Used the timeout wisely. Threw the ball away when he needed to. Excellent drive by McCoy.
And I thought they got him into it perfectly, too. Running a screen, don't ask him to do too much. See if you really want to go for it. You get 10, 12, 13 yards on first down. It makes it an easier decision.
Samantha Ponders caught up with Mack Brown.
Coach, obviously, other than just putting 6 points on the board, what does that last play do for you going into the half?
It's amazing when you score right before the half. It gives you so much momentum. That's why we deferred, tried to score first. We did, and now we get the ball to start the second half. So we're up 10-0. Sam should have gotten a touchdown pass instead of the field goal. Hurt us there. Iowa State fights here. We know that. They play great on Thursday night. None of that's new for us. But that's a big play. A lot of momentum going in. We got to settle down, stop the quarterback runs on third down. He's killing us. Then he got hot when he made the third down runs. Kicking game's really been about even. We got to make some plays in the kicking game. We're a little ahead on the turnovers. Got to do a better job with turnovers.
Well, shoot, you answered all my questions. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Sam.
Matt gave us the rundown there.
That's how you do it right there.
Well, he's excited, and
Did he draw
should
this
be.
up?
After
This is
Harris
perfect.
making the touchdown grab, 17-13 Horns. Time to send you to the Land Rover halftime report. Owen Case McCoy fired up after he threw a 44-yard touchdown pass in the final play of the first half to give Texas a 17-13 lead. And now the Cyclones' mental resolve is going to be tested here. Texas gets the ball first to start the second half after that Hail Mary at the end of the half, and Jay Johnson's going to bring it out. Thought we might see a little bit more of him in the first half. He's knocked out of bounds just short of the 25. We check in with Samantha Ponder.
Reese, I asked Paul Rhodes about his message to his team. He said, number one, we just got to clear our heads. We played a good 30 minutes of football, stopped the run well, and ran the ball well. He said defensively in coverage they have to be better. And he said they're giving Case way too much time to throw. Got to get after him. I asked him if they're going to blitz more. He said we might, with a smile. I think that means yes.
Jay Johnson swinging around, and now he has it, and he's got explosive speed. Jay Johnson across the 35 and up to the 40. It'll be another first down for the Longhorns.
He takes this offense to the next level. When he's on the field, he's the fastest player. He's the most explosive player for Texas. We saw him against New Mexico State in the first game, find explosive plays running the ball, on reverses, in the slot going deep downfield, on bubble screens. He takes this offense to the next level. We haven't seen him a lot so far.
He brings speed, Jesse. Gray hit in the backfield, loses a couple.
And you know, guys, he's also the best decoy this offense has. When he's faking handoffs and all those things, he's as important with the ball in his hands as without. And there you see David Irvin, defensive tackle at 6'7",
Giraffe.
converted defensive end, making a big play in the backfield.
Tall in the first down marker. You see that?
Wally Burnham told us yesterday that Irving could be as good as he wants to be once he decides to do it. He's taking a break now. McCoy going to pull it down. And with David Ash being back in Austin, still suffering the after effects of the concussion, Case didn't take much of a chance. He gets down. They have Tyrone Swoops behind him, who's an excellent runner, but he's a freshman quarterback. Not quite ready to go. There's Tyrone, gifted athlete. They're making the decision as to whether they'll burn his red shirt. Texas has converted just one of its last 5 third downs. Got to go a long way this time. Need 13. McCoy firing to the outside, and Watson and Johnson were tangled up over there. I was anticipating seeing a flag come out.
That looked a lot, Reese, like the very first pass interference call we saw. It was the exact same route and almost looked like the exact same outcome. But again, the shorter corners for Iowa State playing a lot bigger. And right now they're being a little bit more physical on the perimeter of the field.
So Texas moves it, create a little breathing room for Anthony Farah. Farah driving West back. This time West is going to let it hit, and man, oh man, you want to talk about knocking his wedge stiff down there. Anthony Farah with a beautiful punt. Pins it on the 2-yard line. 53-yard punt down on the 2. Is that any good? You bet it is. Sam Richardson will try to get the Cyclones out of the shadow of their goalpost. I always grill in a suit.
Do you always burn the hamburgers?
I try to make them nice and well done for some.
John Saunders would have loved your hamburgers. They were like bricks, hockey pucks. They were so great, cooked through. You'd have made John Saunders happy. Davey, meanwhile, eating the peanuts in the
That's all I was doing. I was like, y'all have fun. I'm going to eat.
Staying away.
Sam Richardson wanted to throw out of his end zone. Pulls it down and picks up a yard or so.
You know, this is a great area of the field as an offense to maybe try a deep shot. Try something play action. Defense expecting you to run the football and try to get some breathing room.
Just there.
Maybe use a hard cap, but take a shot deep downfield. Got to be careful, alert right now if you're Texas defensively.
To the beautiful punt by Farah. Longhorn defense trying to make it stand up. Iowa State has had tough field position all night. Richardson, half roll, buying some time, and Texas is there to snuff out the quarterback run. Into the game is Steve Edmond, who was suspended for the first half after the targeting call against Kansas State.
And look at the defensive confusion by Texas. No, you go over there. No, come back over here. No, you come back in here. Wait, no, back in the box. I mean, talked about dumbing things down and making it simpler. Guys got to communicate fast and make a decision. Now listen, it worked out fine and you made a good play. But
Richardson firing over the middle. Brundage has it. Brundage off to the races. A Cyclone is free. Bindum is chasing him, and he doesn't have enough speed. Touchdown, Iowa State. Pass play in Iowa State history, and it gives the Cyclones the lead, 97 yards.
We talked at the start of the game about Iowa State wanting to take advantage of Duke Thomas, the corner for Texas, who's been eaten up a little bit this year. Man-to-man coverage, their best wide receiver against Texas's worst corner. That's a long touchdown. Wow.
I'll see your lightning strike on the last play of the first half on a Hail Mary and raise you a 97-yard touchdown pass. Quentin Bundridge showing his heels to the field. Nothing but green grass and opportunity as Paul Rhodes' team has taken the lead by 3. Thursday night magic striking in Jack Trice Stadium. Cyclone fans are alive. A 97-yard touchdown strike from Sam Richardson to Quentin Bundridge, the longest pass play in Iowa State history, longest play ever at Jack Trice Stadium, and Texas finds itself behind with 6.5 to play here in the third quarter. DeJay Johnson gets away from a couple of Cyclones. There are plenty there to corral him as he gets across the 20. How did Bundridge get this loose?
Greg Robinson got aggressive, playing man-to-man with the free safety. No help against Bundridge, running the in route at the bottom of the screen against their worst corner. He did not bring pressure. They couldn't get home on Sam Richardson. And what about the chip here? Look at the running back slowing down.
Look at this throw. I mean, I don't agree with cover one by any stretch of the imagination, but that was a dime. That was a perfect throw. I wouldn't have called that defense, and Bundridge does the rest.
He made big plays against Iowa. It wasn't enough. He's over 100 yards receiving. Almost had 100 yards in that play. Right to Davis, complete. First down, Texas.
That's pretty smart. I mean, let the freshman come in and cover your best playmaker. Great job. Over the middle throw, making it easy.
He's not 100%.
I'd keep using that matchup.
Yeah, he's still effective, even though he's not 100%.
20, Davis has another catch in front of the freshman Tribune, and he's knocked down at the 40.
And you see the true freshman Tribune now starting to play way off. He got smoked a few plays ago, bump and run coverage on a critical down. Young guy, maybe not the most confident young corner right now, playing against the best wide receiver for Texas, and he's giving him his due respect.
Davis on the gimpy ankle, 5 catches for 56 yards. 2nd and 12. Blitz coming. not is picked up. McCoy firing out, looking for Davis, and Tribune was covering him, and a flag flew in there. They're going to get the freshman for interference unless they call the pass uncatchable.
That's what I was going to say. Watching that live, I don't think Mike Davis could have made a play on that ball.
It's what Paul Rhodes believes.
Pass interference. Defense, number 34. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Take a look at this again. It's just a straight go route. Nice job by Tribune early. A lot of action. I don't know.
You know, I like the call because if not for the interference, Davis would have at least had the opportunity to make a play along the sideline. I think that's a reasonable call.
Dive out and stretch it. Texas has just avoided running the football here in the second half.
Back to the ground, Bergeron. Bergeron bounced to the outside. Joe Bergeron powering his way into the red zone. First down for the Longhorns.
That's what they got to do to detect guys. That's their third rushing attempt of the half only. You have to stay balanced. And I agree with letting Case McCoy throw it because he's made good decisions. He's earned that trust. But you got to be balanced.
Back to the ground, Bergeron bursting into the secondary, and he's cut down at about the 5, but it may be the 6, but at any rate, it'll be first and goal for the Horns.
So they said, fine, if you want to move if you want to move somebody else, then I'll put Mike Davis on the other side. Just run the ball right up the middle.
Bergeron into the end zone, and Texas regains the lead.
It's not rocket science, guys. I mean,
there is a flag on the play. It is sitting
after the score. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Scoring team number 1. That 15-yard penalty be enforced on the kickoff.
So they call the penalty on Mike Davis. Mack was incredulous about it. Let's see what Davis did.
oh,
You know what?
Good.
What a terrible thing to do.
You deserve it.
Yeah, Mike Davis deserved that penalty. He had Deion Broomfield.
I was just about to say, when you have that good of a drive individually and you make that many plays for your team, you might forget about it, but that's just dumb.
Texas gets the score, but they'll have to kick off way back. Texas just took advantage of a couple of pass interference penalties, and then Joe Bergeron carried it for the final 3 plays. The 30 yards on the drive went into the end zone, and Bergeron puts Texas back on top of Iowa State 24-20, but the Longhorns, after the personal foul penalty against Mike Davis in the end zone, will be kicking off from their own 20-yard line. Penalty assessed on the kickoff on the touchdown play. And meanwhile, Mack Brown thankful for that answering drive after the 97-yard touchdown strike. And as we get deep in the third quarter here in Ames, a desperate Texas team having to deal with Iowa State. Jarvis West looking for running room. West has a little seam. West turning the corner, gets a block, steps out of bounds at the 48, maybe the 49-yard line. An excellent return of 39 yards. And we'll head to the final 15 minutes at Jack Trice Stadium. 4 points separating Texas, a Longhorn team that's been under fire, under scrutiny, and now they're in a fight in the fourth quarter here in Ames. 24-20, Texas has the lead. These fourth quarters starting in Ames. Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, David Pollock, Samantha Ponder. We've got a good one. You know, Sam, part of the problem and the dilemma for Mack Brown as it pertains to swoops is the health of David Ash and how soon he'll be able to return to health. And he's missed a lot of time this year. Wimberly slipped the first tackle and kept it from being a loss, but might have gotten one.
And that's the problem. This Texas offense, I mean, it's not an excuse, but it is an excuse. And I hate to use it, but David Ash is a lot better than McCoy. I mean, you look at Mike Davis on the outside, one of the better playmakers in the country. He hasn't been able to play. I mean, you look at Johnson, number 4, one of their move guys that really does a lot of different things. This offense hadn't been together yet.
Left it
with Wimberly. But in fairness, David, I mean, McCoy's numbers are pretty good. He's led some touchdown drives. Davis has 5 catches. He's been pretty good on third down,
Injuries at the end of the day are not an excuse for this team because of the depth and what they can recruit. It's not USC. It's not Penn State. You're not on sanctions. Florida lost their starting quarterback and their best defensive player. Georgia lost their best wide receiver. At the end of the day, you are still expected to win because of the talent on the field.
That's why this final 13:52 so important to Texas. Oklahoma's looming. Criticism within the Longhorn family of the head coach Mack Brown. Richardson fires over the middle. Bundridge made the grab. And Mikel Thompson, who couldn't corral Bundridge and help on the long touchdown play this time, was ready for it.
But a great job of knowing where the first down marker was. We haven't seen a lot of this out of Texas's defense. Alert play, standing 10 yards down the field. As soon as he lets it go, you tackle him. You give him the 6-7 yards. That's fine. Stop him short of the first down. Great play.
Kirby Vanderkamp standing inside his 10. Jackson Shipley awaits the punt. Vanderkamp needed a pretty good one, and he got it. Shipley makes the fair catch. They'll mark it at his 31-yard line, and the Horns will have it back. A 4-point lead, just over 13 minutes. A little frustration from Mack and perhaps from Greg Robinson too, but the Longhorns continuing to fight, and they have a 4-point lead on the Cyclones. Well, every week can change the season. And every week for Texas is going to change perception of where the Longhorn program stands. In 2009, they went undefeated in the regular season before losing the national title game to Alabama. The malaise and the hangover carried into 2010, a losing record. In 2012, it appeared to be a bounce-back season. 9 wins, beat Oregon State in the Alamo Bowl. 2013 was supposed to be the year, but a disheartening loss on the road in Provo, followed by a loss at home to Ole Miss, and the firing of Manny Diaz has left Mack Brown under fire. Been spanked by Oklahoma the last couple of years as Bergeron breaks a couple of tackles and gets across the 35, and he put the ball on the deck, and Iowa State says it has it. Rhodes is on the field celebrating, and they do. Jared Bracken's coming out of there with a loose football. Willie Scott knocked it free, and the Cyclones are set up.
When you fight for extra yards, first of all, it makes a guy miss in the hole, fighting for extra yards, and you see it right there. The ball is clearly out. You see it all the time. You got to get the extra yards, but you got to take care of the football while you're doing it. And what a great strip, too.
How about the game by Willie Scott so far, guys? The undersized defensive end had a huge stop on a 3rd and 1 early in this game behind the line of scrimmage, and now gets a huge strip. Guys, 6 fumble recoveries for Iowa State coming into the game, averaging 2 a game. They are excellent at doing that.
That is not luck. When the guy reaches in and grabs the football and rips it out, that's guys in the moment being able to concentrate on the football, not just trying to make a tackle. That's skill. There are some lucky breaks, but that was skill.
Now from the Texas 37, Sam Richardson. Well, they try to strike quickly in sudden change. Richardson going to run, and there is a lot of room. Richardson inside the 30 and slides down after picking up the first down inside the 25. And Richardson having a tough time getting up. We mentioned that he had a tender right ankle. The crowd here at Jack Trice wanting a hit called on Bindum after the slide from Richardson.
Once again, guys, massive gap left up front by the defensive line as we take a look at Richardson going down, and what may have caused him to be hurt on that play.
Richardson, very effective, very judicious with his passing. Sack yardage lost, has hurt his rushing total. They give it to Wimberly. Wimberly turns the corner and gets just inside the 20. They're going to mark him right at the 20-yard line.
Guys, again, we talk about the decision-making Sam Richardson had all night. Running the football has been big. And when you play a defense that plays a lot of man coverage, defenders have their backs turned to you covering guys, and those are the best defenses to take off running when you have those chances and those looks. Sam Richardson's done that tonight.
Richardson has run for 5 first downs tonight. He'll leave it with his running back. Wimberly into the secondary, inside the 5, still on his feet. Touchdown, Iowa
Iowa State. The fumble by Bergeron turns out to be most costly as Iowa State regains the lead here in the fourth quarter. How about that run from Wimberly? Wimberly approaching 100 yards on the night. He's coming off a 137-yard performance in the Cyclones' victory against Tulsa. And the pride of Snellville, Georgia is lighting it up in Ames, Iowa tonight. And he has Jack Trice alive as the Cyclones are going for a little more Thursday night magic against Mack and the Horns. You don't just stroll into Jack Trice Stadium on a Thursday night and waltz out with a victory. Texas is finding that out the hard way. Aaron Wimberly just put the Cyclones back on top, 27-24. 5 lead changes we've had. Jay Johnson will bring the kickoff out of the end zone for Texas. And Johnson will be knocked down at the 15 as Case McCoy goes back to work. That has been the Achilles heel for the Horns. First pass to Johnson in the flat. Johnson across the 20. Good pickup on first down.
I'm very curious to see how Texas fights. We talked to Iowa State players yesterday, and they said the MO on Texas, when you're an underdog, if you hang around with them late in the game, they will quit. They will lay down. Now, whether or not that's true or not is irrelevant. It's what Iowa State believes. Can Texas fight right now, come back in this game?
Kansas State players had that sentiment in the offseason. Texas made them pay for it in Austin in their last game. Miscommunication, McCoy looking for Johnson. It'll be third down. We'll see if the Longhorns are able to put that type of talk to rest by Iowa State.
No Mike Davis on the field. That's been the go-to guy.
We haven't seen much of Jonathan Gray in the second half either.
Now, Mack Brown is in the game at running back. He's their best pass-catching running back, so keep your eyes on him if you're this defense.
Case McCoy firing too high for Shipley, and that ball after the deflection was hanging up there for a moment. Falls to the ground. The Longhorns will have to punt.
You're seeing this momentum shift, that big fumble on the last possession. All of a sudden, this stadium is alive again. There's energy for the home team. We talk about that Thursday, Friday night magic. You can kind of feel something happening right now here in this stadium.
And not just because, Jesse, of the sentiment that some opposing players in Big 12 feel. Texas players try to shield themselves from all the talk about their program and the criticism of Mack Brown. That ball hit Iowa State in the back.
Oh, that's lucky.
Very, very fortunate.
That is lucky.
That hit Bundridge right in the back of the head. It was a scramble for the ball, and Iowa State is very, very fortunate.
Well, we've seen Anthony Farah with some bombs tonight. That was probably his worst punt of the night. Certainly Bunder's not expecting that to hit him in the back.
Hey, Sam E. Richardson, who has 8 tackles, has broken up 3 passes tonight, might have saved the day by jumping on that loose football.
You can tell by Paul Rhodes that bear hug he just gave his young corner.
Wimberly into the 50. Wimberly running through tackles.
Guys, I think one of the issues you have as a defense facing this running game is just finding Aaron Wimberly. He's only 5'9". His left tackle's 6'8". His center's 6'6". His right tackle's 6'7". He's playing behind a bunch of trees.
Yeah, who found him at the end of that run right there? London found him just fine.
Once he gets outside of the forest. But when he's
their
back
linebackers
there,
have to attack. These Texas linebackers just sit back and react and catch. Go get the football.
Richardson got it out to James White. White has had his playing time cut down by Wimberly. Makes the grab and a good pickup.
I like the play calling in this game by offensive coordinator Courtney Messingham. You've seen outside runs. There's been some quarterback runs, but getting your running backs isolated against these bigger, slower Texas linebackers like Steve Edmond, very nice job in the scheme.
2nd down and 1. Maybe Richardson would take a shot here. Back to the ground. Wimberly. Gonna have enough for the 1st down. Inside 6 minutes to go. Iowa State driving, and Texas right now has to keep Iowa State out of the end zone.
Made a change. Brought in a new defensive coordinator. Same guys on defense. These guys need to look at each other in the huddle and say it's time to make a play.
That's what Robinson wants. They're under their average, but their average for the season in rush yards allowed has been through the roof. Richardson keeps it, turning the corner. Quarterback run inside the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cyclones. And the thing that has just destroyed Texas all year hurts them again, a 17-yard pickup.
They've been saving it. Richardson hasn't been pulling the football, but watching Jeff Coat comes down. Does a great job. That's a design quarterback keep around the outside, because you saw the fullback, Woody, come around, and a great job to run your quarterback. Been saving it all game. You didn't want him to take a pounding. Design quarterback run. The Achilles heel of Texas.
Boy, and what a night Sam Richardson has had. Wimberly cuts it back. Wimberly inside the 5, and he's close to a 1st down.
The issue, Dave, has been assignment football in this last one. They just hand off the draw inside, and that's a big...
Wimberly with the tough run, 119 yards on 28 carries. Now a 2nd and 1, 4.5 minutes, and Texas' season might be hanging in the balance. The Longhorns rise up. It'll be 3rd down.
Going back 2 plays ago, guys, not being able to stop the zone read. Jackson, Jeff Coat, has the dive. Edmonds needs to switch and take the quarterback. Watch how Edmonds inside gets stuck looking in the backfield. That's the assignment errors this defense had early this season that they looked like they cleaned up against Kansas State, and it came back to haunt them. And that's why Edmond right now on the sideline.
And you saw Jeff Woody, a fullback, coming out to block for a reason. He wasn't coming out there just to cover grass. You got to follow your keys.
This is a huge play. 3rd and 3. Richardson gets rid of it into the end zone. It's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down, and the Longhorn defense almost certainly will force a field goal attempt, and Cole Netton is trotting onto the field.
And that's why it's a big play, because you have an opportunity to keep this thing a 1-possession game. Still with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left. You got all your timeouts if you're Texas. A huge stop for this Longhorn defense. Even though they got gashed, they made some mistakes on that drive. When it counted, backs against the walls, they held up.
I'm going to spot it at the 19, and Netton puts it through. And Iowa State's lead is a precarious 6. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, in case McCoy, who's done it before, will have a chance to do it again for the Hornets. It's a player. Iowa State just got a field goal. Texas keeping it to a 1-possession game. Kickoff will be touched by Sanders. It goes out the back of the end zone, and the Horns will take over on the 25-yard line. McCoy drops it to Jonathan Gray, puts him in the spin cycle, and Gray with a nifty move up to the 35.
We've been talking about Iowa State as a bend-don't-break defense. They've been that for most of the game. Gave up an explosive run early to Gray, gave up a Hail Mary. You have to keep the ball in front. Do not give up the big one now. Make them drive the field and earn this.
One of the most successful drives, too, was Mike Davis, trying to find a way to force-feed him. Give it to him at the bottom of the screen.
They're going for Davis. Davis is going to draw another pass interference penalty. This time it's going to be on Sam E. Richardson, who hasn't made many mistakes tonight.
No, but you know what? They've put him on an island.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty, automatic.
They know
1st
Mike
down.
Davis isn't completely healthy. They've put him in man coverage a lot, or man coverage against him. He's my best player. He's my best playmaker. I give him a shot.
McCoy in his career game-winning drives. He saved Texas on a lethargic Saturday against Kansas last year. 2 years ago on Thanksgiving night, we saw him lead the game-winning drive against A&M. Now back to work and finding Davis. Davis makes the grab. He's hit immediately by Luke Knott.
That's what Iowa State's going to do now. They're just going to read the quarterback's eyes and attack the football in front of them. They got to be able to get pressure up front from only 4 guys. We haven't seen a ton of it tonight. David Irving, defensive tackle, 87. He's got to show up big on this drive.
Gray inside the 35, and the Longhorns are on the move. Plenty of time, over 2.5 to go. Clock stops while they move the chains.
Love the play call. Not in any kind of hurry whatsoever. They're giving you the run right up the gut. Just take it. Take your 15 yards.
Check with the sideline.
I love it. You're not in a rush. Make sure you get the best play call available each and every snap.
McCoy to throw. Down the middle. Almost intercepted twice. First, Luke Knott got a hand on it, then Jaquez Washington.
Luke Knott is not the same athlete as his older brother, Jake. He's not the same size, but this was a tremendous play. Just getting a hand or two on that football, because that almost was a huge completion to Jackson Shipley. In fact,
if he didn't tip it, that was going to get picked.
Well, he may have scored, I think.
But if Shipley didn't tip it either, the corner was right behind him, ready to get the interception. So it was a good game of volleyball right there.
Now 2nd and 10. After the near miss for both sides, McCoy unloads. It's behind Gray. He makes a good grab, and he's tackled by George.
Face mask.
And he's going to get a little extra yardage with the face mask, we believe. Mike DeFee's crew talking it over at this juncture of the game. Make sure you get this one right.
Personal foul. Grabbing the back opening of the helmet. Defense. 15 yards, half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
And guys, uncharacteristic of a Paul Rhodes coach team. Iowa State came in averaging just 3 penalties a game. By far the best in the Big 12. Tonight now, that's already their 9th penalty.
They've had more than 3 times the penalty yardage they normally have. Now over 100 yards in penalties, and that one was damaging. The Cyclone defense now needing to bow up as Texas defense did on the other end. Gray to the corner and knocked out of bounds at the 10.
That's the first time we've seen Texas all night go 2 tight ends, line up in a tight formation, and try to run the football.
And get big.
It's the first time you tried to be the bully. You are the bully. You're supposed to beat Texas, for God's sakes.
But you're way bigger up front. Take advantage of that. We've been saying that all game. And the best red zone teams are the ones that run the football. This is an area, the windows to throw, and you get smaller and smaller the closer you get. You got to be able to run.
If Major Applewhite keeps it on the ground. High snap. McCoy had to catch it 2 or 3 times and finally just goes to the ground. It's 3rd down.
And it's a wasted play, Reese. Because that looked like they may have had something there. There was some holes up front in that offensive line that they potentially could have taken advantage of. Now you just, that's basically an incompletion.
Even worse, you lost a yard.
Yeah, that's a sack. Second.
Case McCoy's thrown for 244 yards tonight. Needs to move his team 11 more yards. Plenty of time for Case. Now firing to the end zone. Texas wanted a flag, and they're going to get one. Was looking for the tight end, Greg Daniels. And pass interference is going to be called on Sam Richardson.
And it's a good call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. By rule, Bobby placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
It's a good call. I mean, you got to make that call. But
it is a good call, David, but if you're Sam Richardson, that's twice on this drive now. If you just turn around and locate the football, you probably have a pick.
That's so much easier said than done, though,
no
because
doubt.
there's somebody in the back of the end zone who's wide open. You just try to get there as fast as you can. He had 40 years to throw the football as well, which really helped.
Texas gets big in the formation. On the ground to Gray. Gray pushing, stopped short. Now Iowa State is running out with the football. Jeremiah George has the ball. Let's see what they call. I think from the looks of the officials, they're calling it down at the 1.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down by contact. Timeout, Iowa State, their second timeout of the half.
Well, Iowa State wants to stop the clock, not only to preserve time, but just in hopes that the replay booth will have a look at this.
And that's big that it's that
get the ball.
Reese and not forward progress, because you can't review forward progress.
That's a
Hey, you remember the Oklahoma State-Texas game last year?
Yes.
At the goal line when they got kind of a gift?
It looks to me there like the ball comes out before he's touched the ground.
I mean, that's the George got in there and dug the football out. His knees are still up.
Wow.
The question, I think, is whether the play was blown dead.
Well, and saying he's down by contact.
Yeah.
Is big.
Our replay official is Tom Robinson.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
A huge break for Texas. Now let's remind you, as I'm sure you know, video evidence has to be completely indisputable before you overturn the call. Crowd doesn't like it. That guy in the front saying, how could you do that? Said the evidence wasn't indisputable, so now Texas with 1:08 to go has a 2nd and goal. Back to Gray. Gray. Ball is down again. Ball was loose on the field again, and they stopped short of the goal line as the clock is still ticking inside a minute. Well, Rhodes used his final timeout.
Wow, it looked like Gray there tried to extend the ball with 2 hands. Oh, no,
That's a
lost
fumble.
it. It's a fumble.
Now, see who got it, though.
Now, in immediate action, if there's a recovery.
Third and final timeout of the half.
Wow.
The question will be who recovered it in the immediate action following. That's a fumble, clearly.
It looked like Gray scooped it back in his body, though.
Gray.
That's a great.
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh!
Great.
I think George had a chance to get it again at the end of the play, but it looked like Gray won the wrestling match.
So close for Iowa State. Paul Rhodes and Wally Burnham in Texas has to have its heart in its throat. I got to tell you, Gray's terrific. I'm not sure I give it to him again now.
Joe Bergeron is normally their goal line running back at 230 pounds, but he also had a touchdown run earlier inside. Regardless of who it is, guys, I'm still toting the rock on offense. I'm going again, and I'm going again these next 2 drives.
Right before the fumble, I was going to bring that up, and you guys mentioned Gray's been fortunate not to have a couple of fumbles called. Bergeron's fumbled tonight, so Malcolm Brown is in the game for Texas at tailback. McCoy keeps it. Case McCoy. It looked as if he got in. Touchdown, Texas.
Don't give your running backs a chance to fumble. Just put it in the quarterback's hands. Good surge up front. Oh, yeah, clearly
Easily
in. You know what? Give Case McCoy in this offense tons of credit. A tremendous, that's twice now in this game. Late in each half, they've come up with a huge 2-minute drive to score touchdowns.
Now Anthony Farah has to put through the extra point to put Texas on top by 1 with 51 seconds remaining in the game. And he is again, and Texas has a 1-point lead with 51 seconds to go, and the Cyclones have no timeouts.
We talked about how Iowa State players, and maybe some other players and teams throughout the Big 12, think that if you hang around with Texas late in the game, in a game they're supposed to win, they lay down. That did not happen tonight. Give Mack Brown and his team a ton of credit. They fought till the very end. They were put in some very difficult situations, had to fight a ton of adversity. But they made the plays when they needed to, and now 51 seconds away from escaping with the win.
Texas defense, let's not forget, too, they came up with a big stop in the red zone to force a field goal in Iowa State's last possession, enabling the Longhorns to be able to take the lead with that drive. Texas doesn't want to risk a return on the kickoff, so no reason monkeying around kicking it short. But they'll start on their own 25. It's going into the wind a little bit, not a huge wind out here tonight. But first things first for Richardson. Steps up, delivers, and headed to the boundary is Wimberly out of the backfield. A good pickup on first down.
Wimberly, the tight end E.J. Bibbs, wide receiver Quentin Bundridge. These are the guys that are going to win the game for Iowa State. These are the guys that are going to give them that chance. They've got to be utilized for them to have any hope.
Pickup of 11. Texas showing a little pressure. Here they come. Quick throw, incomplete. Clock will stop. 42 seconds to go.
It's better.
Good thing he didn't catch
it's
that.
a better thing that they did not catch that play because they have no timeouts. The clock's still ticking. It can't be your enemy right here. Got to work the perimeter of the field.
And if you work the middle, it's got to be beyond the sticks.
Exactly, beyond the sticks. Exactly.
2nd and 10. Richardson gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. 3rd and 10 coming. He had Santos covering Wimberly, and he couldn't quite keep up. Richardson's slow to get up, but they've got to have him. If he can stand, he's got to play.
This is where Texas's inconsistent pass rush needs to be consistent because you know it's a pass. Pin the ears back. Malcolm Brown, Chris Whaley, Cedric Reed, Jackson Jeffcoat. Let's see. We haven't said his name.
Well, I mean,
let's get it going.
Make your imprint on the game. This is a perfect situation. You get a sack, this ball game is probably over.
39 ticks. Texas sends 4. Richardson underneath. First down Iowa State and into Texas territory. Clock will stop to move the chains. That's James White, 32 ticks left.
3rd time on the drive. They've isolated Wimberly against Dalton Santos over the middle of the field. That is a mismatch that Iowa State right now taking advantage of.
And I love that they took advantage of, but you can only do it if you lead your receiver. Twice he's led him out in front of him where he can go and get that first down. It's a mismatch every single time. How close we getting, Mr. Davis?
We're getting close. They're on the 48. They need about 15 yards. They have 31 seconds and no timeouts to at least give Netton a shot at a field goal.
You got to win the one-on-one matchup, man-to-man across the board. Somebody's got to win if you're Iowa State.
Second and 10 after the spike. Richardson thinking about running it. Can't afford to slide, and now this is a problem. Clock is going to continue to run. They're going to have to line up and either run a play, and if they spike it, they'll only have one more play.
Oh, ref dropped it.
Got it down quicker than they did in the Wisconsin game. Richardson will fire, and it's intercepted by Jeffcoat. Right on cue, the deflection, and Jackson Jeffcoat saves the day for Texas.
There was some confusion at the line of scrimmage, it looked like, for Iowa State. They had to hurry after that scramble from Richardson. Timing looked off. He double clutched the throw as well. Was forced to hold it a second longer.
I don't think they knew if receivers were running out in patterns or they were going to spike the football. It looked like there was a lot of confusion, and then Cedric Woods comes off the end, left end. They don't even block him. Tips it. Jeffcoat says, here you go, I got that.
And it looks like Dad Ekby was open on the outside on a slant. If that ball doesn't get batted, that might be the completion they need to get into field goal range. But the defense that did a great job against Kansas State, forcing turnovers with 3. Coming up with some huge turnovers in this game. Obviously none bigger than that this year.
And a giant exhale from the Burnt Orange Nation as Texas goes to 2-0 in the Big 12, hanging on by the skin of its teeth, 31-30. Sports Center's coming up next. Bills and Browns, Cards, Pirates, Dodgers and Braves, and much more on this. For our entire fine ESPN Thursday night crew, Sam Ponder, David Pollack, Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis saying good night from Ames, where Texas hooks them, but just barely.